generally for drawing purpose, we use HB pencil or 2B pencil. Alright. Very small piece of advice, never keep your pencils on the paper.
Yes, ma'am.
Because it may leave some spots on the paper and you may end up messing up your paper. Remember, these are shading pencils, so their impact is very dark, unlike your H pencils, which are the hard pencils. So even if you erase them, a little mark is always left on the paper. Okay? So generally for drawing we use HB or 2B, and these are all graphite shading pencils, which are slightly softer on the lead part. The main graphite pencils are very rough. They are mainly used for showing all kinds of rough textures, and they are mostly on the harder side. They are not so much on the smoother side or on the softer side. Okay. Now with the HB is what we generally draw, and you all know how to draw light and dark, so I don't have to get into that aspect. Okay, because that was done for the kids. Now, so let's say if I am using HB. So this is the lightest I can get with HB, and this is the darkest I can get with HB. Okay, lightest is almost not seen. With 2B, this is the lightest I can get. Okay, wait, let me write it over here. This is the lightest I can get with 2B, and this is the darkest I can get with 2B.
Ma'am, do we have to do that?
You will do this once I'm done with it. Okay? Then if I have to take 3B, all those who have 3B with you, you all can do this. With 3B, this is the lightest, and if you see, the gradation is also changing. That means the texture is changing, the smoothness is changing. Okay, and this is the darkest I can get with 3B. So this is HB, 2B, and this is 3B. Lightest with 4B, and darkest with 4B. (6B). All those who have 5B can also add 5B in between.
I don't have both.
That's okay. And this is the darkest I get with 6B. And with 8B, it's very difficult to get lighter shade with a darker pencil. So this is the lightest I get with 8B, and this is the darkest I get with 8B. All those who have 10B will add on 10B to it. Okay?
Okay, ma'am. Ma'am, my 10B is kept in the drawer. Should I take it?
Yeah, you can take it. As I was saying 10B, so I wrote 10B over here. Okay, so you can see the difference in the lightness and also difference in the darkness. Also difference in the smoothness of it. From 3B, it starts taking a look of more like a grain kind of an effect. Whereas till HB, 2B, it is very smooth effect. Okay. So while you are making any object, you need to know which pencil has to be used when, depending on the surface on which you will be working. Okay, that is very important. Okay, so now let's understand the different shading techniques. Because once you know the different shading techniques, you know when to use which one. Because when you look at a particular object and you look at and you understand the surface of the object, because for the stony ones, for a little rough texture, for a smooth texture, you would first thing you would know is which kind of pencil you have to take. Second thing you will know is what kind of shading technique has to be used. So there are different shading techniques. One technique, if you all can help me by naming some of them. Stippling,
Cross-hatching.
Okay, cross hatching.
Hatching. Yeah, cross-hatching.
Mm-hmm.
Stumbling.
Scumbling. Okay. Let's begin with the basic one. Okay. Let's begin with the basic one. So I'm gonna use my 4B pencil. Okay. You all can try this with either all the pencils or with any pencil. Preferably 3B and above. Okay. Now the first technique is what I generally call it is smudging strokes. Smudging strokes are nothing but where you are doing strokes but they are very close to each other. Generally the method of holding we use for pencil is the under palm hold or a normal pencil hold.
Ma'am, your drawing is not seen this meaning.
I have not yet drawn anything.
Ma'am, the telling the strokes.
So smudging strokes are generally like this, where each strokes are from together. They are not like individual strokes. You don't see gaps between them. Okay? You have them very close to each other. Right?
Yes, ma'am.
Wherein you don't need to actually use a smudging tool. You don't need your finger, you don't need a paper or a tissue or a smudging or a smudger or a stump like that. Okay? You can just with the help of your hold of your pencil, you get this effect. Right? So you can see the difference between the lines and this one. So this is the smudging stroke one, not this. These are called lines. Second one is the hatching. Okay? Hatching is small strokes. And remember one thing, hatchings and cross hatchings are mostly and always, almost 98% of the time are slant. Very, very, very rare time we see they are horizontal or vertically straight. Mostly they are diagonal or slant. Okay, because the diagonal and the slant is what brings the depth more. It brings more of the depth in a particular artwork. Okay, now the difference that you will see here from smudging is these are all lines and they always go in one direction, huh? Now, third one is your cross hatching.
The second one?
Hatching. Third one is your cross hatching. So you go, cross hatching is nothing but the hashtag sign. But the lines are not so far from each other. Like in a hashtag, you have lines so far, like a tic-tac-toe game. Okay, so here you have this, and then they are very close to each other. So the closeness is what creates the density of the shading. Okay. Now if you have to make it into a crisscross, you'll have to go one more line in a different direction. Okay, so if I'll just show you a small example over here for crisscross. So this becomes my cross hatching. Guys, give me 2 minutes. Can be done when we use paper. Okay, another small piece of advice, never use newspapers.
Okay, ma'am.
Never use newspapers because newspapers have got a black ink in them. And that black ink spreads on the paper when we are trying to smudge with the paper. Okay, so
Yes.
let me take the darker pencil and let me shade here. I think 6B will be darker because I've got the lead more properly. Okay. Now I take this paper. I generally fold it because I like this part. Now you hold it with your index finger and you smoothen the surface. Now same way what we did with the eraser, we've got shade on our paper. If you want it to gradually spread, you can just use the paper and you can do it. The difference that you get in this from the dabbing technique of eraser is this shows the paper texture. So if you want the texture of the paper to be seen, the surface of the paper to be understood, you use a paper. You don't use the eraser at that time. Okay, but this will not make it as light as your eraser can make it. But if I want, I can again work on this and I can make it smudged all together. Now if in some place you want round, you go round. If you want straight, you go straight. Now sometimes I get a question that the paper is thick enough, how do we work on the sides? Always use this part of the paper, the folded part of the paper. Okay? Always use the folded part of the paper. And then with that, you just work on the sides. Make sure you hold the paper really tight and you just work on the sides. And your sides gets blended without disturbing the other areas. Understood? Till here? Okay, good. What happens? An object has got two kind of shapes, like two sides, and we have to show that, and yet we have to show that it is blending. Okay, I'll take a small flower petal and I will do it. So let me just draw it with HB. Okay, so now let's take 4B and 8B. Okay, now I will be shading this one and this one to show you the two different directions, so you will understand how to get that flow even for these two. Now this is my 4B. I start working with it, and you have to make sure that you go in the right direction. Now for this one, if you notice, I'm coming downwards. I'm not going like this because I want the petal to be seen that it is this side. Okay? And you have to keep changing your direction because this side you cannot shade in this way. Right? This side has to go in this direction and this will have to go in this direction. Now let's say I don't want to shade the other part, I just want to smudge it. So I often prefer using either a paper or my fingers, because I think that gives a better look to me. It gives a more naturalistic look than a smudger or something, because smudger makes it look very smooth. So if you're doing something very smooth kind of a texture, then maybe you can go with that. Okay, so I just spread this entire thing over here, and if you see, I'm going in the direction of the flower itself. Okay, and then maybe a little bit on this side, just to show that how my flower is turning. Basically not the flower, the petal. So basically by smudging with my finger, what it did, it gave me a base color or a base shade to the petal of my flower. Right? And also it helped me removing all the line edges. The dots or the line edges are missing, are not there. So now I again just smudge them.
Ma'am, you will send these all in the WhatsApp?
I will.
Yeah, okay.
Right. Now what I am going to do is I'm just going to use my 8B and I'm going to just darken the places where I want it to be darkened. If you notice, I'm going in the curved direction, I'm nowhere going straight like this, nor am I drawing lines like this. I'm holding my pencil here, I'm not even holding it here. I'm holding it here and I'm just going like this. So you see the difference between the two. This is very important for you all to understand, okay? Because this will not give me a natural look. This will give me a soft and a smooth look for a flower.
Yes, ma'am.
Now if I want, I can further smudge this so that my lines are not seen, leaving the dark to be there. Okay? Now for this side, it will be opposite. Here I will go in this direction. I'll go upwards. See, from the top I'm trying to make it little curved because I want that petal should appear like that. Another important thing, always make sure you keep a... Okay, always keep a rough paper with you because see, if I keep my hand over here, there are chances that it may get smudged with my hand and my page may become messy. So always keep a rough paper and keep your hand on it. So your already shaded portion is not messed up or it is not getting smudged further. Because if it gets more smudged, then we will end up getting a different look for that area completely. So I'm going to do the same thing what I did with the previous petal. I'm again going to smudge this so that I get a slight base color for my petal. In oil pastel, of course, you cannot use your fingers. You can, but you'll have to really press hard. So in oil pastels, we use paper, mostly, in order to spread that. Okay.
If we use tissue?
No, for oil pastel, I would not suggest tissue because tissue leaves its different mark. Tissue will leave its texture on it. So you use a plain paper. Tissues have got a completely different texture, so it leaves its mark. Just like newspaper, we don't prefer because it becomes darker. It leaves its own ink. Now it depends on how your petal is, where your petal has got dark effect, where it is light effect. Based on that, you use your 8B uses advised or suggested. Again, I'm going to just make use of the paper and I'm going to get my petal shape. Okay?
Yes, ma'am.
Now for the center one. So, in some of the flowers, we color the center first, in some we color later. If we want to show that this is up and petals are from behind, then we shade this later. But if we want to show that petals are on top of it, then we shade this first. Okay, it depends totally on how the object is appearing. For this, you go round. Because this is a round structure. And then just make use of your fingers and make it fully round. Because it's very easy to get round with your finger. Now take 8B and now if you see the technique that I'm using here is basically the smudging strokes technique, is the first technique that I'm mainly using here.
That looks like a bow.
That looks like a bow, yeah. Because it's two sides done. And I will also apply stippling technique over here. Just to bring out the pointy things that we have in our flower. I'm very bad with biological terms. So just to get that kind of an effect. Because I want to show that pointy things that, those small things that keeps coming out from the center from which each petal basically comes out. Okay. And now I'm going to use just hatching. Which basically adds more detail to my object. Alright? Understood? Yeah, it actually looks like a bow.